That's the number one thing you have to do, is to work on yourself and to fill yourself up and keep your cup full.
Do not be afraid to fail, because that oftentimes is the thing that keeps us as women and girls back.
I used to be afraid, particularly from people who say, oh, she's so full of herself. She's so full of herself. And now I embrace it. I consider it a compliment that I am full of myself.
We're all going to have those days where we wake up and we just want to say, I quit. I don't want to do this anymore. It's too hard. It's easier to just throw my hands up in the air and walk away. And so growing up, my mom had this rule, and this has just stuck with me for the rest of my life. I would come home from the gym sometimes, and a lot of times in tears, telling her, this is just too hard. I don't want to do this anymore. Because she was just like, okay, you can quit, but not today. You have to go back to the gym the next day and the next day and the next day until you have one good day. And of course, I rolled my eyes and I would say, but I don't want to go back to the gym tomorrow. And she was like, look, I'm never going to force you or push you into gymnastics except for today. So the moral of that story for me was that we're all going to have these days where it just feels like it's too hard. We don't want to do it anymore. And you want to quit, and that's okay, but you can't quit or give up on those days.
You're always going to need to push yourself. You're always going to need to parent yourself. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. Nobody's coming to tell you to apply for that job that you've always dreamt about. It's up to you.
Are you going to allow their opinion of you to dictate your success? That's what you are doing. No one ever built a statue to a skeptic. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? What if you say oh, I'm really thinking about starting a new business, and your friend's like, ugh, I don't know, be careful, 50% of new businesses fail. Well, bad, I'm gonna be on the 50% of the side of the people that win.
I would say to continue to work hard and don't give up on your goals. And I believe with hard work and with a goal and love and positivity, then eventually we're going to be fine.
I visualized this for myself. When I was selling copiers door to door, I had a very clear vision of what my life was going to be like. And I encourage everyone to do it. Take a snap photo of what success looks like for you. How many employees do you have? How much are you making? Where do you live? Are you sitting at a table with world leaders? Are you standing on a stage in New York City giving a speech? And hold on to that snapshot, and you will subconsciously start to make decisions that get you there.
You have to put yourself out there to have the opportunity in the first place. And don't focus on a million things. I think a lot of times people focus on a lot of things and then they don't win at anything, right? Be deliberate. Say, this is one thing I really want to achieve. This is the one job I want. Don't just take what's by default in front of you, right? So I say chase what you want, don't take what you get. So if you fail, say to yourself, okay, you know what, I'm gonna mentally prepare. I'm gonna try this 10 times. So if you fail those 1 to 3 times, know that that's part of the game, and then give yourself that other 7 times to attempt something. And the idea also from that is you get comfortable with rejection. You putting yourself in the situation where you're getting comfortable with the people saying no to you, comfortable with the rejection. So I think it's a mindset. You've got to put yourself in that mindset that, you know what, maybe the answer will be no, maybe you will fail this one time, but that's going to lead you to a yes and to something successful if you just keep on persevering and keep on pursuing.
It's okay to make mistakes, it's okay to fail. My biggest fear was failure, and it's ridiculous because, again, the imperfections of human are what makes us so great.
I wasn't supposed to be here. I wasn't qualified to be here. See, I was that woman on government assistance in 1994. I was that woman on WIC, Women, Infant, and Children, in 1994. I was that woman that couldn't afford to put Pampers on my son, so I wrapped him in a towel for 2 days in 1995. I'm that woman. So what would get me to being a best-selling author, times 7 books, running a multi-million-dollar company, having my company go public 2 years ago, and going from Wayfair to Wall Street? It would simply be being non-negotiable. if you're willing to stop asking the world for permission to be amazing, to be brilliant, to be divine, stop asking the world for permission and begin today to give the world notice.
And a lot of people say, well, I'm not confident enough yet to do the thing. I'm waiting to, be more prepared, have more certifications, whatever, right? All the things. But the more we sit in the waiting, the bigger that gap gets, the bigger the fear gets, because the fear goes, oh, see, you're still not ready. You weren't ready last month, you're not ready this month, you're definitely not gonna be ready next month. And that little conversation gets louder and louder, and the gap gets bigger and bigger. And then 5 years down the road, we're like, oh, I had this dream 5 years ago to do what that person's doing, and I should have done it, but I didn't. And then that becomes our life. So the way out of that is literally step first, confidence second. So people think it's confidence first, it's step first, in the fear, without knowing what's gonna happen, totally like, okay, let's just see, let's figure it out. And you build confidence through that, through going, okay, I stepped, I didn't die, everything's okay. That was actually kind of fun. Let me take another step. And that's how we actually develop our confidence, is through the steps into the unknown.
Know that there's a lot of hard work that people don't see, a lot of toiling at night, a lot of sleepless nights, and some stuff you don't want to do, but you just do it for the love of it. So if you want to do it for fame or money, forget it. Stop now. But if you want to do it for the love of it, keep on going.
I've always had this really gross, dangerous mentality of the no consideration of failure. Just never even considering the thought of failing. Like, if I want something, I just go until I get it.
I went on the courts with just a ball and a racket and a hope, and that's all I had. And it's inspiring for all you guys out there that want to do something and want to be the best that you can be and want to do the best that you can do. You just never give up, because you never know what can happen. You never know who you can inspire and who you can influence.
If you are always changing what you do based on what other people say, you completely lose yourself and you become just, something that's constantly affected by what's around you, as opposed to stable and your own and like autonomous in your identity.
How do I use this in service to something bigger than myself? It no longer becomes a job. It becomes an offering to the world.